This was the face of Republican Senator Nancy Mace from South Carolina as she fled the room while a group of Epstein's victims gave closed-door testimony of their years of abuse. Trump loyalists are finally breaking rank over the Epstein files, which could spell the beginning of the end of the Trump administration overall. After giving their sealed testimony, some of Epstein's survivors gathered on the steps of the Capitol to demand that the government release the files or they would take matters into their own hands.
I would like to announce here today, us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know.
This is all happening just a few weeks after Republicans adjourned the summer session of Congress in order to avoid having to vote on the public release of the Epstein files. In order to save its public image, the Trump administration allied itself with Epstein's co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, by offering her immunity. She predictably claimed that Trump was always a perfect gentleman with the women around him.
And did you ever hear Mr. Epstein or anybody say that President Trump had done anything inappropriate with masseuses or with anybody in your world?
Absolutely never. In any context.
Do you know whether masseuses from Mar-a-Lago Spa ended up giving massages to, private massages to Mr. Epstein? And I'm not asking for what you may have read, but from at the time, from your personal knowledge, do you know whether that's true?
I don't recall. Is it possible? Yes. But I don't remember that. So I don't recall that, but it's possible.
Do you have recollection of you ever recruiting a masseuse from Mar-a-Lago Spa to go give a private massage to Mr. Epstein?
I've never recruited a masseuse from Mar-a-Lago for that, as far as I remember. I can't ever recollect doing that.
I read all of the 2 days of testimony that Maxwell gave, and perhaps the most important revelation was that within a few seconds of Trump's name coming up just about every time, the Department of Justice stopped the recording to, quote, take a break.
Okay, so what I think we should do now, it's about 12:15. We'll take a break, and we will come back in a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, it's hard for me to believe that they didn't discuss anything while the tape wasn't running. And it's worth reminding you that the courts ruled that Maxwell deliberately lied in her testimony again and again, which makes the survivors' own stories all the more important.
My name is Shantae Davies, and I'm here before you today as a survivor of decades of pain, trauma, and betrayal at the hands of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, and the people who enabled them, and a government that for far too long refused to help. At first, I was an excited young woman on top of the world. Epstein flew me to his private island. He listened to my dreams, promised to help, but his promises came with a catch. The abuse began. He told me to keep it secret. He manipulated me with quid pro quo I did not consent to, but I felt I had no one to turn to. He was too powerful. I was just one of the many young women trapped in his orbit. I was even taken on a trip to Africa with former President Bill Clinton and other notable figures.
My name is Lisa Phillips. I'll be very short. In the year 2000, I was taken to Jeffrey Epstein's island while on a photo shoot on a nearby island. Who I saw and what I experienced there was a glimpse into a very dark and disturbing world. For years after, I tried to avoid Jeffrey. This did not just happen to underage girls in Florida. In New York City, hundreds of young, ambitious women were abused by him. Epstein was not just a serial predator, he was an international human trafficker.
My name is Courtney Wild. I was only 14 years old when I was introduced to Jeffrey Epstein by a 13-year-old friend of mine.
My name is Annie Farmer, and I was 16 years old when I was flown to New Mexico to spend a weekend with Epstein and Maxwell. That same year, 1996, my sister, Maria Farmer, reported what happened to me there, along with reporting her own assault at their hands and their theft of sensitive photos of herself, of me, and our younger sister that she had taken for her work as a figurative painter. I am now 46 years old. 30 years later, We still do not know why that report wasn't properly investigated, or why Epstein and his associates were allowed to harm hundreds, if not thousands, of other girls and young women.
My name is Marina Lacerda. I was minor victim 1 in federal indictment of Jeffrey Epstein in New York in 2019. I was one of dozens of girls that I personally know who were forced into Jeffrey's mansion on 9 East 71 Street in New York City when we were just kids. There are many pieces of my story that I can't remember, no matter how hard I try. The constant state of wonder causes me so much fear and so much confusion. My therapist says that my brain is just trying to protect itself, but it's so hard to begin to heal knowing that there are people out there who know more about my abuse than I do. The worst part is that the government is still in possession right now of the documents and information about that could help me remember. They have documents with my name on them that were confiscated from Jeffrey Epstein's house and could help me put the pieces of my own life back together.
Over the course of 2 hours, the women on the Capitol steps explained how Epstein had a system to attract and abuse girls.
When it was over, he paid me $200 and requested in exchange that I bring a girl each time to make another $200. I told him I did not want to do that, and then he gave me an ultimatum. Either you come here and massage me when I call you, or you bring me friends of yours to massage, and I will give you $200 per girl.
My name is Jenna Lisa Jones, and I was only 14 years old when my friend brought me over to Jeffrey Epstein's house in Palm Beach in 2003. I had a terrible home life, but I was such an innocent kid then. I always did my best in school, and I had such a positive outlook on life. Until that day that I met Jeffrey, I have never been more scared in my life than I was that first time that he hurt me. I remember crying the entire way home, thinking about how I couldn't ever tell anyone about what actually happened in that house.
Even the noted conspiracy theorist Marjorie Taylor Greene chimed in to support the women and demand the release of the files.
The cases that are sealed hold the truth. Jeffrey Epstein's estate holds the truth. The FBI, the DOJ, and the CIA holds the truth. And the truth we are demanding come out on behalf of these women, but also as a strong message to every innocent child, teenager, woman, and man that is being held captive in abuse.
This story is not going anywhere. A few weeks ago, I did a video summarizing everything that we know about the Epstein files to date, and it is a confusing saga, and I tried to condense it into a way that anyone can follow it. But YouTube, well, they immediately demonetized it because I used the actual testimony of women recounting what Trump did to them. Merely by mentioning certain words that indicate, well, what actually happened, YouTube sees that as a reason to not spread the story or make it possible to do these videos. I expect they'll probably do the same to this video. If you want to support independent journalism in the public interest like this, please go check out my free newsletter over at Substack so it is not being policed by the YouTube authorities. You can find it over at sgcarney.substack.com, where you get notifications of my reports as they come out, even if YouTube tries to suppress them with its inscrutable algorithm. Premium subscribers also get access to videos before anyone else. And with that, thank you so much for tuning in. I will stay on this story as new files get released, and I think that they're going to be released pretty soon.